Welcome back to the SCG. The second half about to commence, KB, and it is pouring.
And you can see the lights on. We've had hail during half-time, so it's going to be very tough in this second half, and I think we've just seen some lightning.
Yep.
A big bolt of lightning.
And there's the thunder. These are not the sort of conditions the players were expecting when they rolled up the SCG today. Let's head down to one man that handles all conditions particularly well. He's a knob in the wet, Mark Beretta.
Well, Jackson, it has absolutely gone to the dogs down here on the ground level. We've got hail on the ground. The rain is pouring down. It's completely different to the first half, and I bet the Swans are glad they had that 7-goal-plus break.
Well, of course, if we have lightning during the course of the game, and the umpires deem it to be too dangerous, they can actually call the game off. It was a big bolt.
And then what happens, KB?
Well, it'll be the side that was in front after half-time, so I think the Swans would take this one out. They'd wait for a certain period of time. I think it's half an hour, and if the game couldn't start then, well, the side that was in front after half-time. Prior to that, it would be a draw. Saddington, squeezed up on the boundary line, takes it over.
Does that apply even if the margin is only 1 point?
Before half-time and after half-time, yep.
You
can see that lightning there. It nearly came into our box.
That is just big sheet lightning.
Because that came about when St Kilda played the Bombers.
Yep.
And, of course, they had to go back and play the game. So they had to bring some rules into place rather than go back and play a game during the course of the week. So it is very nasty conditions here at the SCG. Ball has got it for Sydney. He's on half-back. Hard to recognise the players.
And there won't be anything fancy about the play either. You won't see too many marks taken.
Loose ball. We'll see the ball at ground level a lot. Could be a lot of mistakes now with this greasy ball. Beetham thought he had it and lost it. Everett, the tackler, too high.
And this is where the players have to adapt to conditions. You've just got to keep it simple. Keep your body behind the ball. Minimise the use of the hand pass. Kick long, kick direct, and just keep the ball moving forward.
And if the St Kilda players thought 47 points in a dry conditions was going to be tough,
it's 147.
It's 147 the way it is at the moment.
Matthews pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Beetham took a backward step and then pumped the ball back inside the centre square. McPherson has been a very good player today. Saddington. It's going to be very difficult now to handle the ball.
We'll see a bit of soccer as well.
Seymour. You need plenty of support from your teammates, plenty of blocking and shepherding. And we see the Swans take the ball over for a toss back in right on 50. Brad Seymour on screen. 6 possessions and 3 marks today, part of this very strong Swans defence. Best in the competition with points scored against it this year. Ball takes the front position. Kirk has already been a goal kicker off the bench. Can he swing it back? It's coming back. He's got it. He's got 2.
And that really came from nothing. A loose ball, a short little hand pass, and all of a sudden Brett Kirk found a bit of space. He straightened up well. And they will be a pretty rare commodity, you'd think, in these treacherous sort of conditions. And a good early goal before the ball becomes too waterlogged as the rain continues to pour. And the lightning and thunder continues.
Lightning, thunder and hailstones at the SCG. The Swans lead by 53 points. 13-8, 86 to 5-3, 33. They set it up with a magnificent 8-goal second term to 1 goal. The Saints haven't kicked a goal since the 2.5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Yes, unfortunately for them, it all went horribly wrong in the second quarter after a particularly good opening. They matched it with Sydney early, but you'd think all chance has gone out the window now of a comeback.
And no Paul Kelly or Wayne Swash today for Sydney. Late replacements. Ball will take this free kick. He's had it 11 times today. He's taken a mark. And would have to be, Tony, one of the most improved players in the Sydney Swans lineup, back to what I would think his best form.
Well, he's always promised a lot, KB, and even just at the start of the year, just lacked a little bit of form, but look, his last 3 months has been enormous for the club, and if he hopefully can continue that on through to the final series.
And with Greg Stafford out of touch at the moment, pretty timely.
Very timely. You need a big bloke that can dominate a game, and he has done that over the last 10 weeks. He has been absolutely incredible for the Swans in the ruck.
Gives you an idea of how dark it is here at the SCG, and big cracks of lightning at the top of the screen.
Matthews goes short. He was looking that time for ball, couldn't take it. Gehrig on the burst, belts the ball back towards centre half forward. Nothing fancy now for St Kilda. Hamill Has the ball taken away, and Leo Barry slides it over the line for a boundary throw-in. 86 plays 33. 53-point lead. O'Keefe is all rugged up. Kennelly's rugged up, so is Fixter. Just can't see the other player there in front of the steward sitting on the bench.
And that's probably not a bad place to be at this stage.
It might be
of the
Dale
game.
Lewis, in fact.
Rugged up.
Looked like Dale Lewis, maybe. Might have been his nose I could see sticking out. O'Loughlin kicks it off the ground. Moyle sees it over. So it's a real trying time now for St Kilda. Come back from 53 points. Callaghan on the blower. And Robbie Powell there with his head there in his hands. Came onto the field and injured what looked to be an ankle. Only on the ground for a short period of time. He's had a number of injuries this year, a couple of hamstrings. Kirk has been handy, came off the bench. He's booted 2 goals. As the Swans come forward, Crouch pumps the ball back towards centre half forward. He's looking for Luff. An enormous roar today has announced his retirement. Chance now for Matthews, goes short. Hands and knees. Trying to keep the ball alive was Bolt and Matthews. Make that Creswell now goes short and finds Nix.
So Nick's just been unbelievable up forward for the Swans today. And he had a particularly good first half with 13 possessions. He kicked 3 goals, 5. Could have been 5 or 6 goals. And continuing on in the same vein in the wet conditions here in the second half, just making good space, the short lead, and the trusty left boot of Darren Creswell, finding him 35 metres out directly in front.
Reasonably easy kick if it was dry, Jason, but obviously now with the weather conditions changed considerably.
Well, with the heavy balls, at least they go straight if you can make good contact. You don't have to worry about the ball bending around much.
Kicking into a breeze as well, a pretty strong breeze. Matthew Nix.
He's got it home.
He likes it. He's got 4. So there's some brave souls here at the SCG. A lot of the crowd at half-time went for shelter. And the thunder and lightning that's going around the ground at the moment, you've got to be very brave because it's pretty frightening. And so is that man's performance. Plenty of clap about there for Matthew Nix, and you've got to admire these supporters. They're not going away, the Sydney Swans supporters today. Davis, the ball ripped out of his arms, taken by Thompson, kicks a high ball, still inside the centre square. The big fist came from Everett. Walt just couldn't take control. Sure hands across halfback. It's been a fantastic halfback line for the Swans today. And Ball marks on centre wing. It's pretty mobile, Jason Ball. Peter Everett's mobile, but Ball is certainly matching him in that department. Matthews kicks the ball back. He's looking for Shawbull. Kashitsky.
He did well there to keep it in front of him.
He's a fine young player. Just wobbles the ball back. He was looking for Nick Rewalt. Loose ball in the centre square. Knowles went the bump. Baker just trying to barge his way out of trouble. And we've got a ball up.
Poor old Barry Hall's been doing a few little jogs to and fro, trying to keep warm down the square. The ball's not getting down there too often. It's pouring down. You're getting flogged. It's pretty hard to stay happily motivated on a day like that, isn't it?
Makes 2 30-minute quarters take a very long time, doesn't it?
And he kicked 2 goals in the first quarter when the Saints kicked 4 quick goals to get back in the game. They just trailed by 2 points at quarter time. That went wrong. A horror second quarter. They trailed by 47 points at half time. And playing at full forward on days like this would be very uncomfortable. Here's Ball. He's having another magnificent game. 13 possessions and 3 marks.
It's a good option.
And finds Williams, parked on the edge of the centre square. Shawbull on a lead. That's been ignored. Goes to the shorter option in Leo Barry. Leaping Leo. Unloads. Kicks long inside 50. Kashitsky's got Shawbull to beat. Jones wants a kind bounce. It was a dangerous kick, but it's come off, and Plapp belts the ball back towards centre wing. Baker, as the ball slides by for a boundary throw in. 92 plays 33. 14-8 to 5-3. The Swans in control. Major goal kickers today. Matthew Nix has booted 4 for Sydney, 2 to Andrew Shawbull and 2 to Brett Kirk, and singles to Lewis, Matthews, Goods and Fixter. As we see, Kirk comes away looking for Creswell. can't keep the ball alive. And for St Kilda, 2 goals to Nick Rewalt and 2 to Barry Hall and 1 to Peter Everett.
And interesting to see some of those matchups that were just flashed up. Max Hudson has now gone on to Adam Goods, and Fraser Garrick is following Michael O'Loughlin around.
So a chance for the Swans, boundary throw in 35 metres around from goal. Everett worked his way to the front. Next, the danger man. Kicks it behind. 3 goals, 6. He's got another 8 behinds to go to equal the AFL record. Callaghan on the bench and Trianides. Justin Peckett. As Aussie Jones brings the ball back in, spots his man, got him. Blake. The run will come from Young across half back. This is where the Saints often let themselves down. They just turn the ball over.
Oh, he's got Nix by himself in the goal
And
square.
Nix can take an easy chest mark, and he'll get 50. Well, he should get 50.
I think the umpire might have been a little bit lenient with the wet conditions. They moved and slid 5 metres after Everett came in and made contact. He's actually put him on a decent angle.
Well, he lines him up, of course, to the centre of the goal square.
Yep.
But I would say if we catch that in replay, you'll see that Everett came very late.
He was just trying to crib a couple of yards there, Matthew Nix. He was just looking at the ball and stepping to his left.
He's going for goal
He's called
number
play
5.
on. He's called play on, and he's in all sorts of trouble.
He can do anything today,
banana.
Matthew Nix. He can do anything today.
Well, the umpire went back and put him back behind the line that he wanted to, and when he cribbed for the second time, the umpire has every right to call play on, and that's what he did.
Well, he might be looking at the record today. From my memory, as I said, Norman Ware, I think, kicked 14 points. The Brownlow medalist and the great Bulldogs player kicked 14 points in a league game. I think that's the record for the most number of behinds. So
He's halfway there.
he's halfway there.
4 goals, 7.
He might go after Fred Fanning's record of 18 goals, so he might go after the behinds. Might be of some real interest in the game today. Barry. Be glad he's back playing. Hamill. That's a throw.
Good pressure from Leo Barry on that occasion too. Second effort, very important, and one thing that Leo Barry is renowned for.
He just traps the left arm, makes it impossible for Hamill to affect the hand pass.
Very underrated player, this bloke. I reckon he's a real good player.
And really has found his niche, I think, at half back.
Yeah, he just freed him up a little bit. You know, he just seemed to struggle a bit up forward, but gee, in defence he's been good. Creates a lot of run off the back line and hits the ball very hard.
Penetrating kick there from Nix and Koschitzky. Let the ball go through the hands. Chance for Luff. Feeds the ball back. Great smother off the boot. Creswell didn't really make contact. Williams can. Kicks a goal.
And it's turning into a real rout now. It's one-way traffic. The ball is just relentlessly flowing into their attacking 50, the Swans. And weight of numbers. You can just see they're under siege, the St Kilda defenders. It's coming down too quickly, too often. And with every despairing dive, there's another player there to pick it up and carry on the work for Sydney. This time, Paul Williams just chops in front, controls the ball, and kicks a good goal.
Sydney by 66 points. 9 individual goal kickers today. From the centre bounce. Nix, what a game he's having. And Ball pumps the ball back inside 50. Luff, the crowd just urging Troy Luff to kick a goal today. Koschitzky kicks the ball to space. Maxfield, magnificent in the first half. Runs the ball back over the line. 15 goals, 9.99. Sydney, 5-3-33 the Saints.
Still plenty of lightning and thunder around. The umpire actually throwing the ball up in the centre square after that last goal. Things getting a little bit greasy in the centre of the ground.
St Kilda last scored a goal 2.5 minutes into the second term. Who would have thought then, when they were really pressing Sydney, that they would just completely fall away in that second quarter. Seymour, and one of the reasons is this magnificent defence. Dunkley and Seymour and Saddington and Matthews and Leo Barry have just been great today.
And for a side, KB, that doesn't play in the wet too often up here, Sydney have
Adapted, haven't they?
adapted very well to the greasy conditions.
Lewis on screen took a great mark, kicked a goal in the second quarter, and Schauble
Well, they would have fancied their chances because they don't have a bad record against Sydney. Sydney leads 6-4 out of the last 10 clashes.
Well, I saw St Kilda last week against Carlton. They were very good for 3.5 quarters, and I thought without Swash today and Kelly that the Saints would really trouble Sydney today.
Well, the first quarter was good and it dropped away very quickly after that, unfortunately.
This will be interesting if he's going to go back and kick it long this, won't it?
Andrew Dunkley into the breeze, into the rain, into the...
Get under this one,
The
boys.
hail. No, he just feeds it off to Seymour, puts it over the line.
Andrew Dunkley's looking at Brad Seymour saying, I could have done that. I could have kicked it out of bounds.
Quite easily.
I thought you were a good kick.
Don't forget, for all your football needs, information, booking of tickets, anything like that, i7sport.com.au.
You've got to be an on-baller in these conditions, don't you?
Yep.
At least be running around.
Used to hate waking up, looking out the window and seeing the rain tumbling down on match day.
I noticed Barry Hall's moved right up into the centre square. I think
Oh,
he's
just to
decided-
get warm.
No,
just to
he's
get
got chill
warm.
planes, KB, that's why.
Well, there's signs of rigor mortis, I reckon, setting in for Barry Hall at the moment. And Big Spider pumps the ball back. Hamill couldn't take the mark. Blake fed it out towards Milne. Tap on. It was clever play. Is that in the back? No free kick. Barry wants a free,
he's gonna get
and
beat.
he's got it.
He was very unlucky not to get a free kick there.
I agree.
Should have been going back and kicking for goal.
Moyle was looking for the free, now holding his head as Maxfield comes away. Gets plenty of directions from Saddington.
Yeah, he can go a long way here.
So no one's really coming towards Maxfield. He wants to draw an opponent. And he gets one in Adam Goods. He's going to go short, maybe to Nix. Takes
he
the
went for a
long option.
torpedo on the run.
Backing back. And there's a mark to Jude Bolton. It was a strong grab under the conditions.
A brilliant grab, but what about the decision of Adam Goods, 60 metres out, running towards goal? He's gone for the torpedo punt on the run in treacherous conditions. Have a look at this. He just unloads a big mongrel.
He's obviously been told at half-time to show a bit of flair, I think. He's actually getting dragged for that effort.
He's gone for the big torp. Look at it off the outside of the boot.
Yeah.
What a tremendous mark from Jude Bolton. Just trapped it with the hands, did very well.
Well, I like Bolton as a player. I think he hits the ball hard, he's quick. Can he finish off his good work? He can. 10 individual goal kickers now for the Swans.
And I'd love to be privy to that conversation between Rodney Eade and Adam Goods at this stage.
He's got to have a shave, though, don't you think, Tony?
He just launched a big torp.
But I'm sure he just told him it slipped, wouldn't he? Yeah. It just slipped off my boot, right? Stewie Maxfield's been unbelievable. He's got leather poisoning today. Incredible.
Swans by 72 points. The question is, can the Saints get another goal? 2.5 minutes into the second term. It's a long time in football. Just can't penetrate the half-back line. And Kirk has been handy. He's come off the bench. He's kicked a couple of goals. They always have the numbers around the ball. Matthews did a 360. Still comes up with the ball. O'Keefe having a bit of a gallop. O'Loughlin has relished having a run on the ball as well and finds McPherson. He's booted 2 goals, and usually he's a pretty good kick, Tony.
Yeah, very good kick, good skills, Daniel McPherson. As we said, in the first half, you could nearly put this one down, KB, but with a wet ball and obviously getting heavier the longer this quarter goes on. So, any kick for goal in those conditions is a difficult kick.
McPherson, no angle to speak of. He will kick from just inside 50. He's pushed it left. 2 goals, 1 to Daniel McPherson. Young to bring the ball back into play. It's been a very disappointing afternoon for St Kilda.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've all, a lot of them now dropped away, KB. I guess it's just a matter of going through the motions, waiting for the afternoon to end.
Barry Hall stood his ground, got rid of McPherson. Loose ball, Matthews has pounced on it.
Swans players are just lining up inside of 50 there.
It's amazing.
KB.
So it's take 2 for Bolton.
He had 3 options then, and he just chose the middle one, Jude Bolton. But 3 unmarked Sydney Swans players inside their 50. All from a kick-in.
45 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Adam Goods back on.
10 possessions to Bolton today. And has pushed it left. Again, another behind. Matthew Young, also Kirk coming off for Sydney, as Young is about to bring the ball back into play.
Ty Kennelly back onto the ground for the first time today.
Well, it's a great success story, isn't it? The young man from Ireland being brought across, and there's a mark. Bit of magic, giving away the free kick. Well, the young man from Ireland to come across and play a foreign game and to get the level of AFL football is just a fantastic effort. Barry Hall from half-back, looking for Gehrig. Baker wobbles the ball back inside 50, and O'Loughlin gets back. Eyes strong on the ball. $18 possessions today and 3 marks. Sets it up. He's looking for Matthews. Put him under a lot of pressure. Milne working hard. Barry, the dancing feet.
Oh, how did he get through there?
Does the hippie shake and comes away and belts the ball out wide. The race is on Creswell. He's got Thompson to beat.
I tell you what, he's stuck to his guns, Andrew Thompson, doing well on Darren Creswell today. But Leo Barry just a little bit of the soft shoe shuffle. Have a look at this. He kept running into traffic and then he just waltzed through.
Yes, there he is, Leo Barry.
Rudolph Nareo at his best.
Everett getting his hands on the ball. Hamill. So also across half back. He's trying to warm up. Seymour.
It's amazing.
Pulled off the ball is Dunkley.
How many times they've had the numbers around the ball, Sydney. They're just showing a greater preparedness to do the hard work, to run, to work for each other.
Seymour goes wide. Finds Matthews. Into the pocket. Looking for Lewis. He was looking for the free kick.
Well, it looked like the jumper was stretched. I think his opponent had a handful of jumper. You can see Dale Lewis indicating that to the umpire, but he's not interested. I reckon it stretched a good couple of feet off his back, and he can't believe it.
Just over 5 minutes left in his third term, and another goalless quarter looks like coming up here for St Kilda. 5-3-33 the Saints. We kicked a goal since the 2.5 minute mark of that second quarter. And 16-11, 107 Sydney. They led by 2 points at quarter time, 47 points at half time. They now lead by 74. Here's Jason Ball, one of the best players on the ground, and Jude Bolton.
He looks a bit cold, Jason Ball, doesn't he?
Looks like he can't breathe. Gashitsky. All tied up. Beetham, head down, burrows in. Takes the free kick. You'll find Young, he's got to close quickly, and this is what St Kilda do. I've seen it so many times in recent weeks where they just won't hit a target and they cough the ball up to the opposition.
We've seen it a number of times today. They had the numbers, St Kilda. They had a short option, they had a long option, and the kick landed in the middle and just happened to hit this man who's having a day out, Matthew Nix. He's already had 16 kicks, 9 marks, 2 hand passes. He's kicked 4 goals, 7. The only interest is whether it's goal 5 or 0.8.
Directly in front.
I hope he kicks it.
Nix. Kicks a goal. He's got 5.
5 goals, 7 for Matthew Nix, 19 possessions and 9 marks. An outstanding afternoon. And his output and his work rate hasn't waned, even in the wet conditions in the second half. Doing a particularly good job creating space and offering himself to all the ball carriers for the Swans. And he's been the recipient of some good passes, but perhaps none as good as this one from Caden Beetham of St Kilda.
Four minutes left in his third term. It's been a scoreless quarter for the Saints. They're stuck on 5-3. McPherson just tried to crash his way through. Creswell, the general, the playmaker, the centre of the ground. O'Keefe soccers the ball off the ground as well. Lewis with some good body pressure. Beetham tied up. Thompson. Difficult to get a clean possession away. Trianides slides under the ball and they set it up, and Fixter going for goal number 2. Likes a fortune. Look at this. Hits Lewis on the chest and kicks a goal. Puts it over the stand. No, it's down it comes.
The only difficulty Dale Lewis had then was waiting for Troy Luff to get out of the way. There were 2 of them in the goal square on their own. There wasn't a St Kilda player within 15 or 20 metres of them. And Louis actually waited for a few seconds and said, Troy, would you get out of the way, please? See the, I think that was a shot for goal, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Slewed off the side of the boot. Look at him waiting. Luff goes down on all fours to get out of the way. They're sharing a joke. Nobody within cooey. Have a look at Troy Luff. Louis saying, will you just get out of the way? And then he tries to kick one over the grandstand. I've never seen one kicked onto the top of the grandstand here, but that's as close as I've seen. Actually hit the framework. And Barry Hall now operating in defence.
Sydney by 86 points. It's showtime for the Swans. Goods in the ruck. Matthews. Knowles does well to get his foot to the ball, but O'Loughlin enjoying a run in the park today. Creswell just needs a kind bounce. Doesn't get it. It was desperate play. Tied up on centre wing. And Creswell again drives Davis over the line for a toss back in.
Done a good job, Andrew Thompson. 15 possessions. He's kept Darren Creswell to just the 12. Haven't seen a lot of Creswell today.
Let's go down to the boundary line and Mark Beretta.
Yes, thanks for coming down, Jace. Saddington off and Shawball on, and that's about it from here now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
And that report is coming from Mark Beretta's lounge room. He was seen leaving the ground at half-time. Oh, what a great grab by Leo Barry. Eyes on the ball. That took courage. Plenty of bounce in Leo.
And again, loose players everywhere.
O'Loughlin. 21 possessions coming up. 3 marks. Seymour. Such a good defender. Kennelly.
Good effort from Hamill, who was outnumbered 2 to 1
He's
there.
limping a little bit, Adam Goods.
Yeah, he's had that since the first quarter, Jace, and Ben Matthews has just come off. Kirk back on for the Swans.
Doesn't look 100%, but it's obviously not something that he can aggravate or make any worse, because otherwise he'd be off the ground, I'm sure, resting.
86 points the Swans. I think they were just 2 points in front at quarter time. Centre wing. The Saints scoreless in this third term, and the time clock is ticking away. Just over 2 minutes left. Still barking instructions, Seymour. It's a boundary throw in. It's good 65 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Milne's in the goal square playing at full forward now, and Nick Rewalt is about 35 metres out from goal. And now Barry Hall goes back to make it a trio. Beetham. Can the Saints score in this third term? Inside 50. They set it up. Crouch. Knowles on the edge of the centre square. For St Kilda. Looks for Trianides and finds him. Unattended. O'Keefe on the mark. Milne on a lead. So's Rewalt. Trianides fancies his chances.
The big torpedo.
That's a shocker. Barry Hall can mark it off the chest. Creswell on the rebound. This is where the Swans have absolutely killed the Saints today. And Fixter does well. Got rid of his opponent. Can't control it.
We saw Barry Hall there almost taking the chest mark up forward. He wandered down in defence for a few moments before. I guess that was just to
go for it.
Get the body moving, keep himself warm. But he has made his way back to his accustomed position.
Well, it's impossible to be a forward today for St Kilda. Aaron Hamill or Barry Hall. I mean, there's been
Daniel
no
McPherson has a spell. Jude Bolton back on the ground.
So the Swans with a chance to add to their score. 65 metres out. 18-12, 120. They lead the Saints 5-3, 33. They come forward. Shawball across half back to Williams. Bundled over by Baker. Seymour. He'll take it over. He might be pinged for that.
That's the most casual stroll you'll ever see at half-back, just to wander over, gather the ball and fumble it over the boundary. Seymour.
There was no attempt to keep that ball in play.
Oh, in these conditions. It would have been impossible to do anything else anyway, so he thought, I'll just cut my losses and just mosey on over. Look, this is... No, it's actually not slow motion. That's normal pace, KP. He's just wandered over.
Fair dinkum. I thought he was doing Tai Chi there for a moment. He lived to be 100. Baker. Quick snap. Score coming up for the Saints. He's got it. And a roar goes around the Sydney cricket ground. St Kilda have scored in this third term. They go to 5-4-34, but we're yet to see a goal. 18-12, 120 Sydney. $86 points to the Swans. Maxfield drives the ball long. Goods from behind. Big fist. And Davis squeezed up on the line. Can't keep it alive in front of Creswell for a boundary throw-in. 10 individual goal kickers for Sydney today. Just the 3 goal kickers for St Kilda. 2 to Nick Rewalt, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the second. And their other goals all coming in the first quarter. 2 to Barry Hall and 1 to Peter Everett. Speaking of Everett, good hands down to Hamill. Hasn't been able to break clear today. Seymour, a great tackler. Try and eat his, goes to ground. Cop one high. Baker. It's where Sydney have been terrific in recent weeks. Just their gang tackling. This time they're giving away the free kick to Baker. But they do close quickly. Everett in the square. Goes short and finds Fraser Gehrig. Heavy ball, conditions might make it hard for the distance. Fancies his chances, pops it up high. Going with the breeze. Plenty of carry on the ball. And through for a behind to Fraser Gehrig. But a goalless third term for the Saints and a big quarter, a 6-goal quarter for Sydney. 18-12, 120 at three-quarter time. The Saints 5-5, 35.
Yes, the afternoon just continues to worsen for St Kilda fans. Good first quarter, a poor second, now a poor third. And at three-quarter time, it is an 85-point margin in favour of the Sydney Swans.
In good form, Jason Ball. Started the last quarter at the SCG.